Hey, what's up everybody? This is Big Benedict. We're playing Ninja Gaiden, the original one, on the 360, although this is you do need the original Xbox disc to play this game. And here's something we haven't seen before, at least I had never seen this. A little training session to teach you how to do ultimate techniques and ETs and the reversed wind. So his seminar here, Mirai's, it's not very exhaustive. All you need to do is, he's teaching you how to do the ET right there, and I suppose, you know, back at when this game was published in 2004, this was instrumentally helpful, but here it's just kind of a novelty and something you can appreciate for what it is, because it's not here in Black or Sigma. So there's one other thing. So look, all you can learn else is the reverse wind. So I mean, he only teaches you a couple of things. So just block and move the left thumbstick as it says there, and then he says that's all he could tell you. So, and do not die on me. So now we have to go and rescue our clan if we can. So I'm going to smash that up, and as we leave the fortress, this ninja fortress here, there are no confrontations. There aren't any in Sigma, but there are some in Ninja Gaiden Black. But I think on Black it has to be on certain difficulties that you get those confrontations. And we have another boss for the level, so get prepared to fight Masakato. And also in Black you can still fall down that trap door right there. But in Black there was another enemy. So this was, in Black, it was a good opportunity to get some more kills and money and karma and things like that. There's also enemies by the fire wheels area in Ninja Gaiden Black. But all in all, I really can't judge this campaign until I finish it, and then I could give a verdict. But this is much easier than Ninja Gaiden Black, even though you can't do UTs. I mean, I only really basically had strategies involving UTs for when I was grinding for money or on certain of the bosses, like the worms, and the ice beast. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's Guillotine Throw or something like that. Some weird name. But it made me a better player, because I actually had to. Oh, and I also smog into the fire dragon. Had to figure out something, how to deal with that guy without spamming UTs. But as we make our way over here to the save point, we're going to be facing quite a lot of samurai. At first it's just samurai, and then we're going to have some mages coming along with them. So basically, there's nothing down in that chasm below. This would always be a smoke bomb in the other games. Now it's something really good. That's a good item. So normally I would charge an attack right here, but since we can't charge attacks, we're going to have to do that. That's the best move you could possibly do to take these guys down, and then stab them when they're down. You could also do the move that I told you how to do on Mirai, XX forward XX, or XX forward XY. Because if you just press X attacks, these guys will block way too often, and you'll never really get in a hit on these guys. So unless you want to fight them all day, you should probably do the Izuna drop or kick them like that, like I did. But I'm basically pressing XY. Where's my controller? XY, XXY. You can't really do the Izuna. I didn't forget how to do the Izuna drop, but I was trying to find out what I was pressing exactly for that. You don't have to hang on these branches here, but it's nice if you get it. And we have some more samurai down here, and we're also going to have a mage. Now the mage, see the projectile attack they do? It's blockable, but it does take away chip damage, and I'm completely comfortable with taking away chip damage. I'm fine with that, because if you dodge it and you miss it and it hits you, you're going to get more than chip damage. So right there, I didn't need that orb. So I charged a UT with that, and of course I'm going to grab my money for those kills. Are really important to get. whenever I see a blue orb, I'm pretty much going to do a UT on it and sacrifice the health, unless I really need the health. But for those mages, and for these guys too, I suppose, but for the mages in particular, it's just, you want to do standard attacks on those guys and block their projectile attack. Unless you don't, you don't feel that you should have to take any damage on the mages, then you can evade their attacks. But I think it's too risky to do that, because when there's other enemies around too, you're likely to get attacked. So I'm comfortable with just receiving it's a very, very minor portion of damage that you receive just for blocking the projectile. And it does break your guard, so you're going to have to go over to them. I am going to be getting all the objects in this game too. In the past, I've written every single item in the descriptions and linked them to time codes, but it's extremely time consuming, and I won't be doing it this time. I don't believe so. And the water mechanic's not too great in this game. You can't just jump on it and press X continually, or A, whatever it is. You have to line up your water run from a standing position, move onto the water, and then when you are about to hit the water, then you tap the X button all over. Or maybe it's the A button, I don't know for sure. So, see how not having a camera makes it a little bit hard to judge in which direction you need to go. Okay, so we're going to save for progress. Now we're going to be taking on some more samurai. I don't know why there are no mages here. I just did this battle earlier. Yeah, but these guys here, these guys are just, it's one of those things where if you want to take a long time to defeat them, try different attacks, but if you want just a guaranteed easy way to take care of them, you do the Izuna drop, because that knocks them on the ground. Watch, every time I do it, they land face down on the ground, even though he was on the hill right there. And also sometimes when I get 2 essence orbs, I'm going to charge an attack, because I might as well charge an attack, because you can't charge an attack anytime you want to, so you kind of have to do it on the game's terms, which is a really cool experience for me. I've never had to be limited by not being able to do a UT. So in that respect, it's similar to Ninja Gaiden 3. But obviously, this game is far superior. What else to talk about? There's there is something in this game called the Armlet of Tranquility, and you'll get that later on in the game, and it's a really good tool. I don't know what kind of limitations they impose on its use in this difficulty mode, but I know on the last difficulty mode, on hard, I got it, and whenever I needed health, like when I went to a save point, because the save points in this game, they don't fill you up the way they do in Ninja Gaiden 2. So what I would do was I would just end a session and keep that Armlet of Tranquility on, and when I came back, I would be at full health. So it's really good, and it's kind of walking a fine line between possibly cheating, but it is an item you get in this game. So I'm gonna have to decide whether or not I'm gonna use it. But if you're thinking you could mitigate the damage you take in battle, it doesn't refill you up that fast. It's very, very incremental health regeneration from that particular armlet. So that armlet's in this game, but the armlet that's not in the game is the Armlet of Potency, which increases the damage you do with kicks and throws. I mean, I didn't come across that in my previous campaign. No Armlet of Potency. There was the Armlet of Fortune, which is pretty good for getting double drops of ki. It's really good for that. So here's the second life of the gods we have. And don't worry, I'll be getting all of them. I know where they all are. I got them all in my last campaign without having to look anywhere. It's because I'm very familiar with this game. So instead of Ayane giving us the bow here, now we're just going to get the bow down here. And these 2 items on the shelves right there, those were there in hard mode. And it's nice to see them placed like that again.
So before this fight, you might want to save it. It's not too bad. Just be aware though that you can use your Ninpo without any single risk, because you're going to get it from the targets. So just feel free to use Ninpo. Feel free to sacrifice those health orbs for monetary gains for yourself. So when you're in a confrontation like this, you've got to, because the mages are just going to be circulating a bit, and it's not, I don't know, you see this, they're not really, they aggro the same if you're looking at them or not, I feel. In Ninja Gaiden 2, obviously, they were only being really aggressive when you had the camera on them. So maybe it's a little bit of both in this game. But just take care of these guys, and just make sure, because whenever you're up in the air, you're vulnerable. So iframes are really important in this game, and I'll go over what you get iframes from in this game. You get it from the jump, a straight up jump, an evade, the wind path, the Izuna drop when you're doing the somersault, the body slam, that part of it, and the guillotine throw. Although I am not good at doing the guillotine throw in this game because it's a different button combination. It's the same as what is it? All it is forward Y, and I know that's some other move you can do. Oh yeah, obviously it's the flying swallow. But the thing is, let's just cross that bridge when we get to it, because it's really complicated, and I don't know why. I'm glad they changed it to X plus A in the subsequent games, but yeah, the guillotine throw, it's forward, or it's towards, you move towards the enemy with the directional button or directional pad, and then you press Y. And I have more luck doing it if I do a wind run and then I press triangle. But this is not really a game where you need to constantly be doing the guillotine throw. But if it was the regular button combinations, I would be doing it a lot more. So here's some dragging of essence right here. It can be very important to learn how to drag essence. But basically, you just hold the charge long enough so that you don't actually expedite a charge, and then long enough so that you just barely are going to the point where you would do a charge. But in this game, obviously, you're not going to do a charge unless you have the essence come into you, in which case you'll be losing out on all the benefits of the essence itself, because you'll only be getting a fraction of it, and in the case of the Ninpo, you'll get none of it back if you charge off that. So what I did at the store was I bought the Armlet of the Moon, and that's basically how I always do things with the armlets here. I also bought the Inferno because it's very cheap. It's only 1,000, and I think I bought probably no healing items because I have a lot. But you might see an interesting situation up ahead, because when I did my guide for Black and Sigma, I would do charges in this corner over here. Well, I'm still going to do that technique somewhat, because there's nothing preventing you from doing the Y hold, which this is right here. And the Y hold is a very strong move that can decapitate people very frequently in this game. So I'm going to stay in the corner and do the Y hold, because it's a very strong move and it's safe, and it's the only thing we can really do here, because we can't jump and throw an arrow, which is really inexcusable. I hate how that doesn't work like that. And I'm doing XXY attacks, really quick ones too. So you cannot get hit by anything here if you just block, but the second you start swinging, that's when you're vulnerable. And things are pretty chaotic with 2 horse riders at a time here. Okay, so I knocked one guy off a horse. So I think you get an essence orb for the horse, which is usually money, and then you want to take this guy down. But it can be hard to make a charge connect. See, I got that one to connect right there, but it's hard to get it to connect because this is such a wide open space, and your charge is likely to miss, or it's likely, even more likely, to get interrupted by other horse riders just throwing arrows at you. So they do have a lot of HP, and the reason I buy the Armlet of the Moon is for the obvious reason, so that I could take a little bit more damage, and it's also for a little bit more of an obscure reason that I have personally. It's just so that I'm not overpowered as a player, and I can struggle a little bit more. So this game is a little bit harder than it could, than it really is, because admittedly this game is much easier than the games that followed it. But they really cleaned up. It didn't need to be cleaned up because this is a masterpiece. It works damn near flawlessly. But I happen to think that Sigma, I just like Sigma the best. I mean, it looks the nicest. I could do everything I need to. I could jump in the air and shoot. And who cares if you have to play as Rachel a couple times? She's not that bad. And I just like some of the nice touches that it has, like the helicopter shooting you when you're on the Tyron under alert stage. And it just looks gorgeous. So gorgeous. But a lot of people like Ninja Gaiden Black better. And one reason that I replay a lot of these games is that, like, I'll play this and then I'll get like a really strong desire to play other versions of it. Like, I probably won't make a guide for Ninja Gaiden Sigma again after this, but I'll most definitely play it again to re-experience it in a different light with the changes in effect from this game. But yeah, if you've got a heal, just go for it. And I think I actually expend a Talisman of Rebirth over here, just because I didn't need to use it on the last stage. And this game, it's not that tough, really, so you don't really need those, not even for the boss of the next level. Ooh, got dragged again. This is where you're just loving life right there. So I pretty much decided I'll just keep fighting until I get killed, and I'll just use that Talisman of Rebirth. Yes, they're costly, but I think there's actually another one in the next stage. I just remembered that, so it doesn't really matter, but be careful of that kind of stuff when they're jabbing at you in the corner. You need to just get away from that. But I think this fight's a little bit tougher than the Masakato boss fight. And actually, he has lackeys, but it's one of those cases where lackeys are really beneficial to that fight. Plus, there's a finite number of them, so if you just kill them, here's another bad situation right there. But the problem here with these guys, their staffs, or their javelins, or whatever they are, they have a very wide range of effect that they can hit you on, and so does Masakato. But he is one of my favorite enemies in this game, the Red Samurai Horse Rider. But man, oh man, is this game just so good. So goddamn good. So one guy left. So I'm going to stay over here, do the Y hold. You see how they shot me? I think he wouldn't have shot me if I was at a different angle, if I wasn't looking at him directly. So you can actually change the perspective a bit just by pressing the right trigger. That's all you can do in this game, lacking a camera. So right there, I pressed RT, right trigger. And as you can see, these guys just have a lot of HP you need to cut through. I will be getting the Armlet of the Sun, though. One of the main things about this game that I dislike is there's no HUD, there's no You know, no using the D-pad to bring up a quick menu to change items like in Ninja Gaiden 2. They put it in Sigma, but it didn't pause the screen, and it was kind of pointless. But it was still functional to some degree. But now we're gonna hit the save point, and there is a graveyard up a ways up there, but you don't need to go there. There's nothing up there. So you definitely want to grab this healing item and then save your progress. Alright, we're going to make our way over to Masakato, and he's going to have this grand entrance right here. He's a very formidable foe, and he's going to have mages with him. But as always happens, I take out the mages, and then I end up just dealing with him. And on Master Ninja Mode on the other games, he would fall off his horse, and then you would have to fight him, and he would have his own health bar just as long as this one here, and I loved it. And I wish it was the same here, but it's not. You only have to just take this first health bar off. So the drops that you get from these mages are very, very lucrative. I mean, a lot of the times you'll get magic or Nimpo. So don't worry about using Nimpo, because the odds that you'll get another Nimpo drop, see, this goblin right there, very great. So unfortunately, you just can't target whom you're trying to hit here with the Inferno. I mean, if you're looking at the person, it'll probably target that guy. But there's been a lot of times, too many to count, when I've been playing this game, and I want to target one guy and then it throws it at somebody else, or it throws it not even at anybody, and it's a complete waste. But for the guys here, the mages, they're very elusive, so you might actually start hitting thin air more than you think you might. So if that happens, I like to do the Azuna Drop combo, because even if I start hitting thin air, they might reappear, and then that might be the exact time where I'm going down with my helmet splitter and knocking them down to the ground. So you just need to assess for every item drop that you get from these mages. You know, do you want to add it to your inventory, or do you want to use it to expedite a charge? Like you see right there, that was kind of adding insult to injury that I didn't get any hits. So when did I ever die here? I died several times just because this is just one of those fights that it's not hard, but things could definitely just not go your way, and a quick restart. The best way to restart your campaign, by the way, if you just want to start over and not just wait to get killed, just hold down the select and start buttons, and it'll instantly take you to the menu. But you'll lose all your progress. Just don't ever press that on accident. But it's hard when these two controls are merging together in my mind. But XXY took care of that, and then I believe there's no more mages. But you've got to really watch out here, because his staff goes all over the place. But what I like to do is just do the Y hold, and you don't have iframes. Don't think you have iframes when you do that, because you do not. You'll see damage come off me when I do that. You probably saw it when I was doing the horse rider section in the previous part of this chapter. But it's a really safe move to do, and it works well. So as you can see, when his health starts getting low, I don't know if this is typical, but because I've got him to this point below, and he didn't do this stuff, where he's really struggling with the horse. So one Y hold is going to finish him off right here. And I'm going to see you guys in the Skies of Vengeance. This has been a very successful chapter. And we got the counterattack scroll, so that's good for that. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to go into the burning building like we do in Sigma. But unfortunately, that's just the case, and we just have to play what we're playing here and enjoy it. So once again, I'll see you guys in the Skies of Vengeance. Take care.